And I see you have the classic Witcher Beast.
Oh, the Leshen, yeah.
Yeah, that people love.
Mm-hmm.
The Leshen.
I'm also wearing my Leshen shirt today.
Oh, yes. Is that like a...
Because I knew.
Is that like a lich?
No.
Are there any liches in The Witcher?
Don't think so. Alright, I'm stealing something from his graveyard. I don't know what. It's none of it's good, so I mean it's not gonna matter.
We serve her who is
because he's just gonna res whatever I don't take, because he has 2 of them in the graveyard, so what's the point?
Yeah.
Now here I have an interesting consideration right now. Now if I hailstorm the back row, that's gonna set his Ekimara to 8 strength, and that'll give me a... Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. I didn't look at my own board. Okay, that's fine. Because it would... My Scorch would have killed my Leshen as well. So I can just go ahead and do that. I don't know if this will be enough or not. So what Yennefer does is she damages... She spawns either a Unicorn or a Chironex. This should be enough. So Chironex will damage everything by 2, and I'll be ahead. Yay. So normally, with Yennefer for monsters, you want to play Unicorn because it boosts all on both sides by 2. And you normally, as monsters, you'd have a lot more cards than your opponent. But in this case, I didn't, so it was worth more to use the Chironex instead. So, yeah.
Oh. And what is that?
That's Dagon. He's the leader. Who I used him.
So he's like sentient?
Yeah.
Or he can like talk and is smart and stuff, I mean.
I wouldn't say that. Okay. I mean, he's worshipped by certain sea-dwelling people. He's from the first Witcher game.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take some time now to actually explain what my deck does, because I know you were very confused that game. Yeah. So we'll take a look at this. So I guess we'll just start up here. These are Harpies. Whenever 3 beasts are played onto the board on my side, a Harpy gets pulled from my deck.
Okay.
So I've got 3 of them. And so Foglet works in a similar way. It's pulled from your deck or your graveyard whenever fog is applied to the other side of the board, which is why you only have 1, because it can be pulled from your graveyard.
Okay.
Solano Harpies will spawn 2 Harpy eggs, which when the Harpy eggs are destroyed, they spawn tiny 1-strength Harpies, or what I call Harpy hatchlings. And if the Harpy eggs are consumed, they give +4 strength to whatever consumes them. Ekimaras gain resilience, which means they stay on the board after 1 round, unless if they get locked. And then they can consume an ally, so it's good synergy. You can consume and then have a 6-strength unit carryover. Necro Warriors, you create 2 copies of a bronze card and put them at the bottom of your deck. So I use those on Harpies, because that way I'll have more points get pulled out, because I play a lot more than 9 beasts in the whole game for the most part. And then since they're added to the bottom of your deck, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to destroy your mulligans or anything. Archgriffin clears weather from 1 row on your side, and then you move move 1 bronze unit from either your graveyard to the opponent's, or from your opponent's graveyard to your own. Roach gets pulled out every time gold card is played, only from your deck though, not from graveyard. Leshen applies fog and spawns 3 rabid wolves, which all have beast tags on them. So if you play Leshen with Roach and Harpies in your deck, you'll spawn at least 1 Harpy off of it, plus Roach, plus 3 beasts, 3 wolves. So it's a plus fog. So it's at least a 23-point card for the most part. Sometimes even more if you've got Harpies with lower counters on them already.
And then that'll summon a Foglet.
Yeah, exactly, that too.
Yeah.
So then Yennefer, I already explained. Eric Hisai, that's just a 3 strength muster cards. You pull 1 and all of them get pulled from your deck. Doragary will spawn a variety of monsters, creatures, and then each of them have different effects. I usually use either Ekimara or Drowner. Drowner pulls a unit to either its row either on your side or the enemy side. If you pull it on the enemy side, it does 2 damage, and if it's pulled into other, it does 4 damage. And then we got my special cards. So there's Marigold's Hailstorm, which used to be extremely broken. Now it's only slightly less broken. It used to affect gold cards as well, but it doesn't affect gold cards anymore. That's another thing that's different now. Gold cards are affected by effects now.
Except for Marigold's
Except
Hailstorm.
for Marigolds, yeah. And other cards that don't affect gold cards.
Yeah.
Commander's Horn boost 5 units by 4. It used to double all units on 1 row, which was broken. Scorch is the exact same, but it's a silver card now, so you can only have 1. Monster Nest will spawn a monster of varying types. I usually do Ghoul, which will eat bronze unit in your graveyard, or a Drowner. And Restore will resurrect a gold unit, which I used on Wielded Spirit, of course, because it's a broken card. And what else would I use it on? And then Royal Decree will let you pull any gold unit out of your deck, and then it shuffles the others back. And then Dagon spawns a weather effect. So that's it for this deck.
And you always choose Fog.
Pretty much, yeah, because there's no reason not to, since you can get the fog let out.
Yeah.
So
you could have Fog every turn, pretty much.
yeah, that's what I do usually. Because if you do 2 weather effects in a turn, people will usually weather clear. As you saw with that Skellige player, he restored or did weather clear just with the 1 weather effect. So, I mean, it's whatever. It's no big deal. It just loses me however many points. So.
And did they is Skellige more balanced now?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's better now. So it used to be bad. Now it's good.
Bad in like it was not
Like
to use.
It was. Yeah, it was probably Skellige was the worst faction. Now it's maybe Northern Realms. I don't know. It's only been a week since the patch, so it's hard to say what faction's the best, of course. And there's always going to be arguments. I think it's Nilfgaard, personally, right now, because Nilfgaard was pretty generally considered to be the 2nd best faction before the patch, and then Northern Realms was the best, but then Northern Realms got nerfed to heck.
So are they the worst now?
Yeah,
Northern
probably.
Realms?
I don't see anybody play Northern Realms, at least, because they got nerfed so hard. So
And what do you play?
I play monsters.
Okay. They're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, they're probably 3rd best faction now, I think.
Okay.
I think Skellige or Nilfgaard's the best right now, and then Monsters is 3rd. Then Scoia'tael, somewhere close behind Monsters, and then Northern Realms is probably the worst. So I have a deck, at least 1 deck for each faction, pretty much, except for my Dwarfs deck. It's not finished because I didn't have enough to finish it. So, are you
Didn't
interested
have enough
in...
dwarfs.
No. I guess the 1 card is in a dwarf.
Dwarfs.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought they were
That's how
dwarfs.
everybody calls the dwarf decks dwarfs.
Oh.
So, but yeah, it is a dwarf deck.
Is that a streamer thing?
Yeah, exactly.
There's
So-
a guy with an accent or something?
No, it's just nobody pronounces dwarfs correctly, and everybody just calls them dwarfs. It's a meme. I
Okay.
guess. So, do you have any interest in seeing any particular faction? Do you want to try any of them?
I don't know. I don't really know much about any of them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make a huge difference to me, I don't think.
Do you want to see any particular deck first, and then I can explain it a little bit, and then you want to try it? Maybe.
Well, I saw Monsters, right?
Yeah.
Since you just played that.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't do that again, or would we?
I don't know. I'm down for it. We could. The only deck that I've played Aridin Longship a little bit, but it's not a really good deck. Hybrid's pretty good, and then I haven't actually played any of my. Well, I played the spy decks, these 2, but I haven't actually played like any of the other decks like Reveal or Spellteller or any of those. So I don't know how good they actually are, and I don't know how to properly play them. Swarm is pretty similar to my hybrid deck. It's just another net deck that I grabbed earlier this week. Because I have a lot of I have pretty much all the monster cards anyways, so I'm like, oh, I'll just make whatever monster deck I see. But yeah. So do you want to see a deck and try it, or what?
Sure.
Which one do you want to see?
I don't know, what's one that you can play well? The best besides your one that you just played?
Spice, I guess.
Okay.
See, Super JJ is a Gwent streamer, and he's German, so he says Spice. So it's a funny meme.
The epic laws.
Yeah. So well, I'm going to be spending a lot of time explaining how all this crap works.
Well, I could just play monsters then.
Okay.
Yeah, I could play monsters and then you could play this deck randomly too at the end after that.